Well, the time is 10 to 8 London time. It's a Monday. It's pretty cold in London. It means one thing. It means it's nearly time for MNR, Monday Night Racing. And again, a big hello to everyone out there watching us live on Twitch. I'm Scrappy and I'll be taking you through Monday Night Racing, RRC style. Thank you to everyone at RRC for making these leagues possible. We really do enjoy it as drivers, as commentators, and competitors alike. It's fantastic to be involved in such a cool league, it really is, as we go to the business end of this season. Now, we have got an absolute corker in store for you tonight in the way to the Hungarian Grand Prix coming up shortly. Before that, qualifying, and before we even get to that, let's just talk about the Friday night bonanza we had. Now, if the Hungaro Ring on a Monday is going to be anything like the Hungaro Ring we had on Friday night, we are in for an absolute belter. We had everything. We had wet qualifying. We had drivers going to the back of the field making it through. We had the turn one crashes. We had safety cars. We had drivers going for alternative strategies. We had four-way battle for the lead at one point. It was an absolute corker. Going through the league for the Monday Night League. Anyone who watches my channels does obviously know I like to go through the drivers one by one. And at the moment, we're looking at the AlphaTauri of quite a familiar name, actually, to RRC Racing, FTH, currently leading the Drivers' Championship. As we get to the business end, there's 41 points. He can't, there's the difference between first and second. He can't secure it tonight, but he can pretty much get one hand on that trophy tonight. So I'm sure he's going to want to extend his lead, and it may just be a matter of time. So let's go through them team by team. So Williams, normally the team at the back of the field. We've got the Benny Boy and Brandit combination. It's been fierce. Benny Boy doing pretty well on Fridays. Needs to have that luck really to turn it into a Monday. He's got a very strong teammate in Brandit who's currently P2 in the Drivers' Championship. It's the reason why Williams are doing so strong. So Benny Boy full of potential. But where's he in the league? Looking down, he's 6th. He can do better than that. He just needs some races to keep his head down on the Monday and get the points in. His teammate Brandit, I helped him myself go through his setup, so you might as well blame me for giving him some advice on his setup, and obviously made him faster. He's up to P2 in the championship, so good. Obviously, had a very good night to the both of them in the Williams crew. AlphaTauri we're just looking at, they're currently P2 in the Constructors' Championship. 59 points is the gap to Williams. Their driver pairing, very competitive, as I just said, in the hands of FTH and Charlie in Japan. Now, Charlie in Japan, I've seen him a couple of races. He needs to get some points on the board and help his teammate out. At the moment, the 59 points, if they're both scoring points week in, week out, the AlphaTauris would be leading the Constructors' Championship by sure. So, obviously, a big good luck tonight for Charlie in Japan. Hope he does get his first World Championship points tonight. Next up, we've got the Red Bull Racing team. Very, very strong in pretty much every single league. And no surprising they're so strong. We've got T-Bone and Super Steve in the Aston Martin Red Bull Racing team. Super Steve, he's had podiums this year. He was leading in RRC a couple of times. Just the mistakes he just needs to get over. And I'm sure he will tonight. Jonathan Cox is a formidable force. He's already won championships in this league. He's also won his reigning champion, was at Tuesday Night Racing. His championship position really not helping him out. He's currently P5. Very surprising to see T-Bone so low in the championship. Super Steve, where's he on the championship list? He's 10th. And surely that driver pairing is fierce for the grid tonight, especially with short qualifying coming up. Keep an eye on the time, we've got another 5 minutes or so. So we've got GFO, let's move on to Alfa Romeo. Oh, apology, dropping my iPad there. I hope I haven't got a cracked screen, I'll check that in a minute. So we've got the Alfa Romeo pairings of GFO Leclerc. Now, he is formidable. This guy very nearly has pushed T-Bone all to the way in Tuesday Night Racing. Another big new name for the RRC racing community, and he is taking it by storm, pretty much pushing this Alfa Romeo up to P4 in the championship. So again, very good luck to him. We know very much well what he is capable of. If I want to go the right way, it might help. On to Renault. We've got Civics and Old Boy. Now, Civics, you think points these days. On the podium a lot, gets a job done, gets a lot of points for the team. So, again, formidable as a driver. Old Boy, we saw him in Friday Night Racing doing pretty well. Unfortunately, mistake cost him vital points. So, a big shame for him. On to the Racing Point team of LH44 and JML. Now, LH44, I'm really giving no instruction. He's the guy that I'm chasing myself in the Wednesday Night League. He is rapid around Hungary. I think I've beaten him actually this year, so I'll take some of my own pride. Maybe show him what it's done. Hungarian definitely sorts out the men from the boys. JML Kinslock, I'm not familiar with him, so it'd be good to see him and see what he can do against his teammate tonight. On to McLaren. The pairings of GFO's Seb, again very well known, P3 in the Tuesday night championship, very capable driver, again scores points week in, week out. Shame about the Friday night, but hopefully that won't go on to the Monday. Jared, again a very well known name from Friday Night Racing, tourist racing community. Again, he's capable of points, he's capable of podiums. On to the Haas team. Beautiful car the Haas is. So JML Duke Shed and Mr. 3i93. So not familiar with either of those drivers from the leagues, but very interesting. I'll be keeping my eyes on them because normally it's the ones you never expect are going to be on that front row. So good luck to those guys tonight. Not familiar with the names, but I'll be keeping an eye out for them nonetheless. On to the Scuderia of Toon Fan and VSL Optics, or Slowpix, pardon me. Now, Toon Fan, very, very capable driver, does make the odd mistake, and unfortunately his finishing isn't fantastic. That's the part he needs to change in his driver plan. That's what he needs to work on, is finishing the races. You know, to win, you have to finish. When this guy finishes, he's always on the top, or towards the top of the podium. So we know exactly what he's capable of. And VSL Sloptic's not a guy that I'm very familiar with. Again, going to keep an eye out for him tonight and see what he can do in the Scuderia. And finally on to Mercedes, very obviously concerned about the time. We've got the Extremist and Matt Smith. Now, these two, again, done very well in other parts of the league, so we'll be keeping an eye out to see what they can do for the Mercedes racing team. So we'll go live really quickly as the time does approach 8 o'clock. I've got pretty much a 2-minute warning. I think I'm going to get a kick up the backside from the admins to join the lobby, which I'm going to do shortly. And of course the Hungarian ring, we've got a short qualifying coming up. It's not like some of the other leagues aren't there, that you have a reverse grid order, or it's just whoever decides. At least here you have got a chance to get used to the track. We didn't see that in the FNR Gold on Friday night, purely because it rains and everyone's plans went out the window. But we did obviously see a fantastic race and qualifying session nonetheless. So expecting just the less tonight. Of course, you do throw rain into the mix, the Hungarian ring becomes even more of an ice rink. And just to make sure, my iPad is definitely fine, which I'm very happy about. I'm sure Apple are not going to get my check or any more money this month, so very happy about that. Now, the Hungarian ring, we've got a 50% race coming up. Now, this place is all about the grip from the tyres. The one stop should be enough. The drivers that do start on the soft compounds should be able to make it on the one stop comfortably, but we did see on the Friday night the potential of going from the soft to hard is there. And we see drivers doing 20 odd laps on the hard tyre on Friday night, so it is capable. But of course, what are you going to have left in the tyre to end with? So realistically, it's more towards the one here. We may see the drivers going for the two, but realistically, my money today is going to be on the drivers going for the one stop. Of course, as long as it is a dry session, we should see the drivers having to stick to their fastest tyre for the top 10. So that basically should mean that the guys, realistically, if they're starting from the soft runners, towards the top end of the table, the guys they're not too sure, maybe they're going to think they're going to qualify in the bottom part of the top 10, expect them to go for the medium tyre, roll the dice and just have a work plan for the race. Of course, trying to make their race a lot easier. As we'll now go live to the qualifying session, we'll try and talk you through all the drivers and make sure everyone gets a shot on the big screen tonight. We did experience some technical difficulties on Friday with the systems. Of course, now moving over to PS5. Maybe that's a problem with Sony, but it all seems pretty good tonight. So that's thumbs up for that one so far. Now, of course, in this league, we've got custom setups. So all the drivers will be having, of course, in the back of their minds, what do? Do they focus on the race? Do they focus on qualifying? The weather will play a big part in that. We're about to find out exactly what is going to happen for the qualifying. I do wish I could tell you exactly what it is for wet or dry. If any of the drivers are out there, please just send me a message, so at least I can pass that on to everyone there. The more information is key. And we are green flag in the Hungarian. It looks pretty dry from where we are. We can see Matt Smith's garage, looking straight into Matt Smith's garage, and it looks like there is that soft tyres. Trying to have a little nose there. See, nice. Thank you very much for Team Fan for sending me some invites. Yeah, thanks very much, Toon. I'm already in here, buddy, so much appreciated. And this we're going to restart the lobby. GFO Leclerc has decided to drop out the lobby. Hopefully it's just premature of his dropout. One of the Scuderias is out first. Trying to see who that is. The two Mercedes in tandem coming out there. So it looks like the gloves are off at Mercedes Formula 1 today. As we will try and go live with... Not picking me up in here. Here we go. So the first driver out is VSL Optics. He's got the two Mercedes cars chasing him down. Now, is that going to be the same way at the end of qualifying? About 16.5 minutes away from finding out. So we'll go live. He's on the soft tyre as the first driver out. You can see the two Mercedes deciding to play a little game of chase by the looks of things. He's at the lead car. So they seem to have backed off now, the extremist. And this is of Matty Smith. So the two of them are out. We'll try and make a mental note of exactly who is out on track first and trying to follow their fast laps as much as possible. So we'll go back to VSL Optics quickly. You can see half the field deciding to come out now. So a dirty track right now. That's the reason why Optics isn't going full beans in here. Trying to make sure his tyres are completely warmed up as we approach Sector 3. It's so easy in this final two parts of the corner to get it all wrong. If you touch that white painted concrete, the Scuderia would have gone straight into the wall. He's managed to keep it on the black stuff away from the green stuff. Taking very tight lines for the last corner. DRS completely wide open as he flies down the turn one. Still on the two DRS zones here for the number 30 Scuderia. But he's got a break just after the 100. So got fast so good. Taking a very tight line into one. His DRS completely open as he flies down the second part of the hill. Approaching turn 3. 50 metre board. Hands on the steering wheel in the third gear. Pretty good there. Bit of a hesitation coming into 4. How does he take here? Here is absolutely crucial. Using the curve on the outside. I maybe would have put 50 myself in there. As he gets back on to Sector 2. Of course, he will go provisional fastest lap for the fully qualifying session as the first driver out there. I'm going to follow this lap through to the end and then we'll join on to the Mercedes pairing to see what they can do, if they can better VSL Optics lap. He's looking pretty smooth, calm and collected for a banker lap so far, so well done to Optics for that. He's keeping it on the island, so to speak. Using that inside curve on the right a little bit more here. Does he do the same in the final corner? He does, that may lose him a little bit of time. DRS completely wide open. He does go and set the fastest lap of the race so far. As we can see, Matty Smith and the Extremist. The Extremist has beat his time. 1 minute 15.485. Matt Smith, we're watching, goes third fastest. Optics still second at 1 minute 15.657. Just trying to have a look at any drivers in Sector 2. At the Racing Point, having a Michael Schumacher helmet. I'm not too sure. I feel that driver's in this race having Michael Schumacher helmets. I'm a massive Schumacher fan myself. And Chuba Bar deciding that he wasn't happy with that lap. He's decided to call it a day. He's into pit road. We can see Jonathan Cox coming out onto the track. We'll follow Brambit till the end of the lap to see if he can improve on the extremists' lap time of a 1 minute 15.485. Currently provisional pole holder by 0.2 of a second. You can see Brambit there using a lot of the concrete curb on the left hand side. And I hope all my training of telling him what to do and what to get as far as equipment's concerned is going to help him in this race. It puts him P6. So currently Brambit, the slowest out of the 6 drivers who set a time on 1 minute 17.869. We can see the Renault. Is that Civics or is that Dragon Speed coming out of the pits? No, it is Civics 79 coming out of the pit lane. So expect him to be setting a lap fairly quickly. Some of the other drivers are on outlap, so I'm going to try and flip through them. Let's join JML Dushrek, and deciding he wants to Shrek all over the grass. Hope he keeps it away from the wall. He's opting for the medium tyre. He's being brave. Maybe of course bravery does win you medals and points, but I think he's going to learn pretty quickly. Stay away from the green stuff, buddy. It's not what you need. Touching more of the grass on the left-hand curve there. It's not going to be a fast enough lap, unfortunately. We'll go back with Jonathan Cox, who is on an outlap, driving on as he starts his outlap, driving on speeds on a fast lap. By the looks of things, are nearly putting the car at the Renault into the wall into sector 2, managing to hold it. Dragon on Speed, I haven't spoke about him for a very long time. So good to see him doing well and hopefully getting a good position today. In that Renault, you see the heat spray coming off the end of that Renault. It's going for a very Daniel Ricciardo-esque helmet. If I wasn't realising, I'd probably say it's Daniel Ricciardo. You can see him getting on the brakes so late there into the last, or the penultimate corner, locking his tyres up. It's not going to help his tyre wear for the time being. He's out of ERS. He goes to 6th place. He knocks Matty Smith down to 7th. So Dragon on Speed's lap on 1 minute 16.794. Civic 79, his teammate, is going on a quick lap. You can see his ERS burning down currently. Super Steve is also on a fast lap as well. And he's copying my helmet again, is Super Steve. How many times have me and Super Steve got to have conversations about copyright on my helmet, buddy? Of course, I'm joking. So very good luck to Super Steve tonight. My teammate for a long time in WNR, as Jonathan Cox decides now is the best time to set the fastest lap of the race. He didn't win on Friday night. That's what he's going to be aiming for today, is pole position. 1 minute 15.704. He's beat the extremist time by what's that? Civics goes even faster. 1 minute 14.575. We was watching him momentarily. He obliterates, I should say, Jonathan Cox's time, aka T-Bone's time, by what's that? Just under 0.2 of a second, a tenth and a half. Super Steve finishing his fast lap momentarily. He's out of ERS. And he puts himself up to P9. So I don't think Jonathan Cox is going to be too happy with that. He's on a slow lap. You can see currently Civics is going to be very happy with himself with that lap of 14.575. Who else have we got to go? We've got Toon Fan, who is on track. He's opting for the medium tyre. Let's have a quick look and just double check what tyres. So Civics and Jonathan Cox is on mediums. I didn't notice that. As is the extremist, has gone for the medium tyre. Chumbar goes for into P3. He's on the soft tyre. GFO has now, Leclerc has now rejoined us. Toon Fan deciding the mediums are the way. So these guys, if they can make it through as high as they possibly can on the qualifying, this will only help them in the race. But surely you must think of Jonathan Cox is on that medium tyre. He must have more pace in the bag than that. Toon Fan goes 14th. He's capable of a lot more. The medium tyre definitely would have slowed him down dramatically. We've got a flood of cars on slower and fast laps. Watching Mr. Elite currently in P10 as he starts his fast lap. Currently in 10th place. Our provisional pole sitter is still Civic 79. He's sitting comfortably in the pits right now, only having some tea, maybe looking over his telemetry just to see exactly where he can beat Jonathan Cox today. Well, he's on the soft tyre, he's on a much faster tyre. I was watching Stringy just taking his time there, Sunday afternoon drive, and deciding he wants to go across the Armco. Quite, he's trying to get away with the cars. Oh, it's a car park down there between the Alpha and the Williams. I think someone needs to tell String there's a race on, or a qualifying session on today. He's having a Sunday afternoon drive out there. So I hope he realises by the end of the lap that we're actually qualified and not having a Sunday afternoon drive. As you can see, Benny Boy deciding he wants to go on his own Monday night drive across the Fly Emirates sign as well. So everyone deciding to alternate sides of the track. Extremist, he is currently on, he's deciding to drop out of that one. The medium tyre, in his case, doesn't seem like it's got the capability. The two Toro Rosso, the two Scuderias, wash your mouth out with soap, according to the Alphas there, coming through the last corner. VSL Optics, he's on it here. He's about to run out of ERS. He does. What lap time does he put down? He goes full fastest. 1 minute 15.483 for VSL Optics. Civics is coming back out the pits. They should have as it's a short circuit here, they should have an opportunity to run 3 hot laps around the Hungaro ring. And Puppy Jr. is joining us. Now, this guy, Puppy Jr., we've seen him this year go from leaps and bounds. We've seen him get podiums, get finishing, had a bit of a bad rap at the start of the year, and it's good to see that he's kicked the haters to one side. Very capable driver. He's beaten me for a podium this year at Monaco. I'm not begrudging him for 1 second. So Puppy Jr., he's got obviously some good teaching in the way of Puppy, his mentor in the same racing team in a couple of the different leagues they race in. We'll follow his lap till the end and we'll jump over afterwards to see what can he do. He's currently 7th fastest. And we can see a McLaren out. That's a shame. It's Puppy. His dad. He's lost it. Well, I should have kept my mouth shut about that, shouldn't I? So he is 7th fastest. Unfortunately, he will win the bragging rights of the Puppies today in the Puppy household. Puppy Senior is going to be out of qualifying. We saw his car, his McLaren, beached on the outside of turn 1. Big shame for him. He'll take no further part of qualifying. It looked like he was just getting ready to drop it and get there fast up under the car. So big shame to see him on the wrong sides of the race today. And FTH deciding he's very close to getting disqualified for doing that. Wants to go backwards. Extremist has left the session, it's saying, and is the Alpha going to be able to get all that? But he does. He's got a McLaren in the wall. And Brambit's deciding that he wants to get a shortcut back to the pits. Everyone deciding his racing lines today to cut some grass as well. So thank you very much, Mr. Brambit, for cutting the grass in Hungary. I'm sure the stewards will be very happy about that. So have a quick look at his front wing. As you can see, Civics does do a fastest lap of the race. Qualifying, on 1 minute 14.0. Now that is the sort of gap we'd expect to see between medium and soft running, so that's going to make it even harder for the chasing pack. The guys especially on the medium tyres who have set their fastest lap to come out, because you have very nearly an issue there in the pit lane. It's a Scuderia rushing around to get back in, Stringy back in, as you can see him pop into the screen there. So we've got just over 5 minutes to go from the session. So any drivers out really want to be coming in to be able to change tyres or any damage that they might have as we follow Bradley back to the pits. They should have enough time to come back in now, have a little think about what they're doing, maybe change tyres to a softer compound or a newer softer compound. And then, as you can see, Brambit, is he actually out of fuel? Or just getting out of the way of the Renault? That's the reason why he was going so slowly through the last couple of corners. Now, he has got 100% ERS. Has he just pitted? So, does he pit on this lap? Or does he go for it? No, he's not. He's going for it. Very wide line there into the last corner. Pretty well handled there from Brambit. So far, quick change to 8th gear. You see his DRS rear wing completely wide open. as he threads the needle into turn 1. And stamps the letter, as Daniel Ricciardo would say. 50-metre board braking down the 3rd gear. 2nd lap to 3rd, 4th, 5th. Crossing the curve to 6th. Pretty good so far. Pretty stable there from Brabbitt. Doesn't use the curb on the inside. That will cost him time on his lap. He's shifted a little bit too early for me there, so he's aborted that lap. So we've got 3 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the session. Brabbitt surely will be wanting to come back, but he's got the fuel, save it, and the ERS save it for one more opportunity to go it again. He's currently 7th. He's winning the Williams battle between his teammate Benny Boy in the system. Williams is currently in P8, currently sitting in the pit lane, probably even watching his teammate out there today. Look for the back of the Williams. Beautiful car it really is. I just happened to find actually in the last race you can go left and right if you're doing an on-board. Very happy to see that. I was very excited, I should say, to see that. Small pleasures in life, seriously guys. It really is. As we're riding with Matty Smith, hoping for more points today for his Mercedes team. And he's got a Scuderia Ferrari behind him. He should be fine for this lap. He's out of ERS as well. Everyone, he's decided to take the curve. It may disqualify his lap. It does improve. He goes up to P10. Will join the sister Ferrari. I must have come in the pit. It's stringy. As dear Mel Dustrek decides now is the time to put in his fastest lap of the session. It's a 1 minute 14.356. It's 3/10 off pole, but currently he's on the front row of the grid on P2. So that will be what he can do for the session. Jonathan Cox, Toombar, Civics, Dragon on speed, still staying in the pit. So we've still got Civics who's in the pit lane right now. On provisional pole position, 1 minute 14.0. The 2 minute warning's coming up. 2 minute warning, drivers. So this is the time that everyone wants to be thinking about coming out is right now. As you can see, the car's running out of the pit lane. So DML Dreamstrek, he's done now for qualifying. He's not going to have enough time to come out and go back out again. So his fastest lap of a minute 14.356. He won't go any faster. Fantastic lap so far. 3/10 off pole, but currently on the front row. Jonathan Cox, he is out on a out lap. Toombar 99, he really just set that lap as well. Starting to come back in again, his Michael Schumacher helmet. And it brings him luck tonight. He's on a 1 minute 14.820, a 10th or so of T-Bone's time. T-Bone, of course, setting it on the mediums. He's now decided to come out for the soft tyres. As you can see, doing very nicely, getting out of the way of the other drivers. So VSL Optics, he looks to be on a slow lap, it looks like, purely because he's not using his ERS and deciding to go get out of the way of everyone else. So that's the reason why we'll join the Extremist currently for what is a fast lap. It'll be his last fast lap. 1 minute to go in the session. So the driver's now really wanting to be the right side of sector 3 to be able, or even sector 2, to be able to make it through for one last lap, to be able to set one. As we can follow the Extremist now in P7, his current lap of 1 minute 15.482. He needs 2/10 to move up one position. He needs another 3/10 to move up 2 positions. And what is the off pole currently? A 15. He's 1.4 seconds off pole position currently, but he is on the better tyre. And of course, all the experience he's learnt from his first run will surely help him in his second run this evening. So we've got pretty much just over half for us now. Everyone on the circuits on fast laps. Stringy on a out lap. I don't think he'll have enough time to set one. Oh, he has just passed the start finish line. So it's checkered flag goes out in the pit lane. So it is now done for qualifying. Civic still on provisional pole position. He's done. He's not going to set another lap. How close can the Extremist get out of ERS for the Extremist? What lap time can he do? He stays P7. We'll go back onto Jonathan Cox. We're going to have a quick look and to see around the field of who is doing what. So lap is done for FTH. He's currently 13th. would you believe? The Extremist was riding with, he is done. He is in P7 at the moment. As we can see, with other drivers coming through. We've got Belheed, a 669. He's done. He's in 17th. 1 minute 17.0. DRS completely open. Jonathan Cox, he goes to provisional pole position with a lap time of 1 minute 13.496. Toonbar still on track, and Dragon on speed as well. So who do we flip to between these two cars? We'll go to Toonbar really quickly, and Toonbar's called it a day. The Williams and Brambit, he's done. He'll start from 5th at least. Dragon on speed's finished it as well. So the only other driver, Stringy's still on the track. He was starting to come in. Matty Smith is out there as well in sector 3. He's the only guy that can push T-Bone off the pole position. But can he do it? He's not going to. He's going to slow lap anyway. So it looks like Jonathan Cox has secured pole position for the Hungarian Grand Prix. That last minute, 1 minute 13.496. He currently tops pole. He's currently on. He should be on pole position for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Civics down there. It's a 10th between them. Him and Civics. He's going to be gutted when he reads that time back. But very well done for him. Obviously, to get as much as he possibly can out of the car. JML Doonstrek will start from 3rd position. We've got Toonbar down there in 4th. Brambit is in 5th, will start from 5th. VSL Optics 6th. Dragon on Speed 7th. The Extremist will start from 8th. Benny Boy 9th. Mr. Elite from 10th. Now those drivers will be locked in to what looks like going to be the soft tyre all around. So confirmation there. So wrapping up the rest of the field. Poppy Jr. will start from 11th. He will have free choice of tyre. As will Stringy in P12th. Matty Smith 13th. FTH, he will start from 14th. Super Steve 15th. Toonfan 16th. Bell here 669 will start from 17th. GFO Leclerc with no time, as has Poppy. So from 11th downwards we'll get a free shot of brand new tyres. Now Mr. Elite's time and Poppy Jr.'s time, a 10th between them. Now Mr. Elite going for the softer, on the harder tyre in the way of the mediums. So he will have a slight disadvantage coming off the starts, of course. So it's all about now, can the guys in the top 10 keep those soft drivers behind them? Top 10 all starting on soft compounds. They are locked in. They're looking through now. They're looking at their pit strategy, maybe speaking to their teammates about where they're going to start. Of course, they don't want to double stack. If we do go into safety car, which again is another thing for this race, we may well see a safety car happen, as we've seen so many times in Hungary. The last thing the guys want to do is double stack, and it's always best to have something set up with your teammate as well, just so if you do need to, or just basically say who wants to come in on what time, is probably the easiest thing to do with your teammate. As I'm having a few technical issues on my iPad, and I think dropping it off a shelf actually really helps, but I think it's maybe my iPad's way of getting back at me. So we're about to start the formation lap. And hopefully with no technical glitches tonight, we should see the formation lap start shortly. We'll be going through the drivers one more time as well. As we do have a green flag for the formation lap. I'm trying to show you as much information as I can. So Jonathan Cox, we'll go through the field one more time. Jonathan Cox, fantastic pole position from him. He left it till right at the end. Obviously, there wasn't the time left in the soft tyres to complete his lap. So Civics will be less than a 10th of a second down. He'll be gutted. He led for quite a lot of the session. So a big shame for him. But the game will be especially on for these two tonight. JML Druszek, so we keep a big eye out for him. Not a name I'm familiar with. Really good qualifying as well. So it's going to be all fireworks in the Haas team. Toonbar 999, he was there all the way at the top, all the way through the field. He seems to get quicker and quicker, so well done for him. Brambit getting there in 5th position. He really improved in his second run on the soft tyre. That's really helped him. Right behind him, he's got VSL Optics. He is a pretty known starter today in the Scuderia, so we're looking for fireworks again today in the run down to turn 1. Dragon on speed. I thought we could have gone faster in that second run of qualifying on the soft tyre. So he's one to look out for tonight, as is the Extremist down in P8. Benny Boy in P9 just needs consistency to get some points. Then we got the first and the 10. So the Mr. Elite, the only one, pardon me, of the top 10 who will start on the medium tyre. Poppy Jr., free choice. He'll start from mediums, as does Stringy in P12. Matty Smith P13. We've got FTH deciding to go for the hard tyre right at the back. As 15th, Super Steve gets himself disqualified. Didn't see exactly what he did there. And Toon Fan as well, so we can't see what tyres he is on. Bell here 669, he's gone for the mediums, as of GFO Leclerc. Very highly out of position for him to expect Leclerc to come all the way back through the field. We didn't see a lap from Puppy in qualifying because of having a issue or having an argument with the tyre barrier on the last couple of corners, as all the drivers, all the 19 starters are on the field. I'll try and keep you up to date as much as possible with everything that's going on. But this is the Hungarian Grand Prix. We're waiting for the lights to go green. This is what T-Bone's looking at right now. Clean field is 1 lap, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4, 5. And the Hungarian Grand Prix is go now! And that's not a brilliant start that way from T-Bone. He seems to have held it all the way there. As you can see, is he going to hold it all the way down to turn 1? He does! There's issues there, we can see all the way down the field. There's cars with broken front wings. There's cars going absolutely everywhere. As you can see, Benny Boy struggling there. He's got McLaren off as well. It looks like the computer system's gone absolutely AWOL. There's a lot of ghosted cars out there as well. So we're not exactly sure. Who was that? It's Puppy Jr. getting out of the way. And there's a Ferrari in the wall! And that may well be absolute curtains for the Ferrari. It's Toon Fan out of the race. Big shame for him. We're going to go back to T-Bone. We love it. It's going to be safety car surely for that. It does look like Toon on the first lap as well. Optics up to P2. So Civics really didn't get away from the start. It looked like T-Bone, from my point of view, did get bogged down. Optics has got himself a penalty. Again, a drive-through penalty, it looks like, for that. So the big winners and losers currently from that start. T-Bone getting a pretty good start. VSL Optics making up 4 places from that good start. We wish we could have looked at turn 1 a little bit more closely, but the system did seem to glitch. So if anyone decides to pit, maybe a bit too early around the Hungaroring, that's the reason why they're all staying out. We'll look back through the field. We've got Civics in P3. JML Dustrick does go on, is in P3 currently. Oh, pardon me, JML Dustrick is in P4. Civics is P3. Come on, Scrappy. And we've got Dragon on speed, who's coming in the first of the runners. Has he got wing damage? Is that the reason why he's coming in? No, it doesn't look like it's a scheduled stop. And Super Steve deciding that the mediums aren't the way. Is he going to go hard to the end? It's a front wing change for Super Steve. So he was involved in that turn 1 issue as well. I thought McLaren was. Must have been Puppy we saw going around, as T-Bone has caught up with the safety car. So at the moment we have got one driver out of the race from the 19 that started. It's Toon Fan. Unfortunately for him, he's not going to make any points today for his team. Big shame for him. Super Steve, Puppy and the Extremists, they are now on. They have changed wheels and tyres. They will pretty much get a free stop on brand new fresh tyres. It looked like damage was going to be the cause of the day coming through there. So VSO Optics does have a penalty to serve. It's a shame we couldn't have got a little bit closer to showing on board of exactly what happened. But it does look like there was some sort of issue with the system, with the Codemasters not showing us the leaders if we was trying to view that. So Civics down 1 position. Dino Dreamstrek up to 4th. Team Bar lost the position off his grid start. He is in 5th place. Benny Boy up 3 places. Well done to him on lap 1. His teammate Bo is down 2 places from his grid start in Brambit. You've got Mr. Elite. He's up by 2 places in P8. FTH, he's up 5. So really big winner today from turn 1. Matty Smith as well. He's up by 3 places from where he started. GFO Leclerc, now really no surprise here. He's made up 7 places off his grid start. Safety car will stay out for another lap. The McLaren decides it's time to come in the way of Puppy Jr. going for an alternative strategy. GFO Leclerc I did say he was out of position. He's up to P12 already, and we've only really had a few hundred metres of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Jack Puppy Jr. deciding that it's time to come in. Now, he's not going to make it in front of Puppy, pardon me, decided to come in. Or Puppy Jr., pardon me. He's not going to make it in front of Puppy. So Puppy does hold that, but of course Puppy Jr. will be able to fasten up after he gets out of the pit lane, chase down the safety car and get right back behind the field to start his third lap. Now, 35 lap race. We did see the hard tyres go, what was it, even 30 laps, I think it was, on Friday. So they are capable of doing it. It's still a little bit too early to come in now for the hard tyre to make it through to the end of the race. So safety car we should expect to see in on this lap potentially. Being so slow, we'll get notification very shortly as we approach sector 3 about when the safety car is coming in. And we expect to see T-Bone try and be like a dog with a bone and trying to run away before Optics can get away. He's pretty known for his starts, made some pretty good ones recently. He's trying to make up, of course, for his Friday night's third position. Had an issue with GFO Leclerc, also in the field on the first lap. That saw him fall all the way back down the field. Safety car is in. That's the reason why T-Bone's massively backing off. So we're looking at the Ferrari now. When does T-Bone decide to hit the gas and really go for it for this restart? It's going to be soon. Coming into the last corner, Optics is trying to follow his lead. This is when T-Bone decides it is time to step on the gas. So T-Bone does get a good start there from the opposite line. We can see the Renault under pressure there to hold of Civics into P3. He's held it as well. As you can see, Dimbar in also at 5th position. So it looks like they've all pretty much managed to stay in the order that they were. As you can just see a fight running back there is the Racing Point getting all that position. It's a big shame for Dragon on Speed. It's Balhero that seems to have lost out with that one. He's out of the race. We was looking back at the car at the time. Big shame a bit further down the field. And he will take no further part in the Hungarian Grand Prix. So safety car, is it being deployed again? Doesn't look like it. Just a yellow flag in sector 2. That will be the first part of sector 2. That's the reason why there's a false idiot. Super Steve's got himself a 5-second stop and go penalty. So more action there, unfortunately, for Super Steve, getting himself involved with issues. Let's have a quick look at the tyre compounds now. So at the moment you've got a movement there. Matt Smith going down a position. He's about to be 2 positions. If he's not careful, it looks like he's in an Alfa Romeo sandwich of GFO Leclerc and Stringy. So Leclerc is up a position again into the top 10. We're going back now to the gap for 3rd and 4th positions. It's down to 3/10. These cars will not get any DRS for after the safety car, at least for 2 laps. So I feel that's the reason why we're seeing them running such close proximity. There's movement again, so it looks like Matty Smith's day gets them back to work. He's fighting with the Alfa Romeos. And this time Stringy makes the better of him, so he's lost unfortunately 2 places to 2 Alfa Romeos in the last 5 corners. I think he wants to completely get rid of Alfa Romeos in this race. I don't think he wants to see any again for a very long time. After this one, let's go back for the closest battle on the track. There's 3/10 between the 2 Williamses. Now DRS will be absolutely crucial in the laps to come. T-Bone has really hit the gas. He's 4 seconds ahead now of VSO Optics. Civics is in 3rd. Belton's left the sessions. He was out of this race anyway. Civics getting himself a 3-second time penalty or for multiple warnings that will come into play a little bit later on. As you can see, FDH, Mr. Elite looking the brakes there for Brambit in P7. Going to keep around the closest battle for the lead as Optics decides it's time to come in. He's not happy with the soft tyres. He can make it from the hards all the way through to the end of the race. We have seen that on the Friday night around the Hungaro ring. Is he going to go for the mediums, which means he's surely going to have to go again He's gone for the soft, so he's definitely going to have to go again for optics. But he's got himself some clean air by the looks of things. So it's definitely time to put on a charge. There is definitely going to be a big battle here for what is that, 4th, 5th, 6th. And you can just see there, Timber really getting beyond the edge of the track. He's got the 2 chasing Williams behind him. Nice to see Williams doing much better than the F1 season for the last couple of years. They're currently 5th and 6th in the Hungarian Grand Prix. As you can see that Haas taking the shortest line possible into the chicane. Stringy gets himself a penalty. Stringy wanting to make his afternoons or his evenings work a little bit harder for himself. As you can see now, the Williams pairing really fighting for what is 5th or 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th positions on the racetrack. This is the closest battle we've got down there. We've still got 17 drivers out of the 19 that started. Basically going to be a traffic jam as Benny Boy decides to pit. Brambit does take advantage of that, but he is going to have 2 very fast cars behind him. Let's go back for the battle for GFO Leclerc. He's about to make his move on Mr. Italy. He does. He goes up to 6th position. Can he hold it? Brambit has to watch those tyres. He keeps locking them up. And it does look like there, GFO Leclerc is clear up into P6. His next target is going to be Brambit, as we can just see him locking up again. He does not want to be doing that against Leclerc. Now, is Leclerc going to be looking all in here to make a move? Be risky if he has. Of course, we did see him make a terrible mistake in Tuesday night racing this time last week. And Brambit's lost it. A lot of pressure from here. I was about to say, because of course we saw Leclerc lose his championship race on the Tuesday night event here just 6 days ago. That's still going to be in his mind, as Brambit unfortunately wasn't happy with his front wing settings, so he decided to take it off, meaning that Williams are going to have to come out and scramble for a new front wing adjustment for his Williams. Big shame for him. He was hitting very well actually as well. Made it a little bit easier for GFO Leclerc. No damage to the Alfa Romeo for the time being. Watching that concrete curb into the last corner, he will get DRS. As you can see there, who is that pitting? It's Doomstring is coming in. He was on the soft tyres as well, so those medium runners are really going to benefit from that safety car. This is what you have with an early safety car. Of course, if you come in, Brambit getting himself a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. As someone should have told him, it's in miles an hour, the 50, not kilometres that he would have been seeing from Germany. So, unfortunately, 5 seconds penalty will be added to his race time if they don't serve it at a pit stop. So, his day, unfortunately, going from bad to worse, losing his front wing, and then deciding that he wanted a penalty as well. So, big shame for Brambit. As you can see, another car losing it. Timber losing it. What is it when you get GFO Leclerc behind you? Everyone wants to fall off the track. And GFO Leclerc's day gets from better to even better. His qualifying session, I did say, he was massively out of position. Just the 2 guys out there to pit. Jonathan Cox decides it's time to get rid of his soft tyres. You can make it for the hards all the way through. It's not going to be hard. It is going to be hard. So Jonathan Cox deciding it's time to roll the dice. GFO Leclerc takes provisional lead of the Hungarian Grand Prix. He does still have to stop again. So where does T-Bone fall down to? We'll look very shortly. He's dragging on speed, trying to take 5th position away from Matty Smith, and then touched into turn 1. It looks like wheel to wheel, so it's not too bad. He does get out of it though, the dragging on speed. So Sportsmanship Award of the Day goes to him for that. As Jonathan Cox having his own little battle there with Matty Smith. He's getting himself a time penalty for cutting turn 4. That's not the way T-Bone wants to be taking that, especially on hard tyres. Now, so a pit stop will take you potentially down to P6. This is where you want to see GFO Leclerc really get on the gas. He wants to do a fast lap of the race right now to make the gap to T-Bone as short as possible. So, after the pit stops, we've seen GFO Leclerc move up to P1. He was coming through the field nicely. Because of the pit stops, he had moved back up to P1. So we've got the top 5 drivers who have yet to stop. It's Matty Smith. He's holding up T-Bone currently, and this will be an absolute saving grace for GFO Leclerc and Mr. Elite. And FDH, they pushed him out of the way pretty much. T-Bone, borderline aggressive driving there from T-Bone, I have to say. He has got through into P5. He's got the Renault Dragon of Speed behind him, who has got ERS. He's going to be worried about him. T-Bone with some clear air. Mr. Elite's not, and GFO Leclerc are not going to be too happy that T-Bone has been released and he's moved up to 5th position. Of course, he's the first person to stop in this race. Matty Smith, unfortunately, has fallen down to P7. So when it rains, it pours. He lost not 1 position, 2 positions. That's happened twice. Of course, losing out to the 2 Alfa Romeos earlier in this race. The battle for the lead. So what's that? So GFO Leclerc's got a lead currently of, let's have a quick look, who has stopped. He's Dragon on Speed with an issue. That's the reason there's a yellow flag. Is he just getting out of it, or is that a problem with the car? No, he just seems to be getting out of it by the looks of things. So Dragon on Speed causing a yellow flag. We're all back to racing speed now, so not to worry. So let's go back to the battle for the lead of the Hungarian Grand Prix. So at the moment it's GFO Leclerc that currently leads in Hungary. This is the one that he wanted. It cost him a championship in Tuesday night racing. On Monday night racing, he's still got a chance, obviously, of winning the race. He's still in this race on lap 11. Cars seem to be jumping out of the way when they see the Alfa Romeo behind him. I definitely would have been doing that myself. Mr. Elite is chasing him. It's 4.3 seconds is the gap. FDH is in 3rd place. He's got Stringy in 4th, very close behind him. He is the last man to have stopped. As GML Doomshek, he's trying to get back. He's up to P8. So of course he has stopped for the hard tyres. This is the problem. When you go for the hard tyres, they may last for 30 laps until the end of the race, but it's the course of the tyre. It's how much time you're going to lose doing it. Who was that having a yellow flag? Can't see anyone struggling out there. Stringy is struggling. It's T-Bone is lost to position 2. So that's the reason why. So T-Bone's already caught him. Big shame for him. He wants to be keeping it on the black stuff, not the white stuff there. Stringy trying to catch T-Bone. For what is P4. T-Bone has been released. If the guys at the front of the pack were to stop now without a safety car, T-Bone would be back into the lead of the Hungarian Grand Prix. We're still riding with Stringy. You can see the Red Bull ahead of us of Jonathan Cox. Pole position holder today. He's currently 4th and is the first guy to have stopped in the Hungarian Grand Prix. He's opted for the hard tyres, which should see him through to the end of the race. But of course, don't discount any further safety cars, which may help the chasing pack. So it's mediums, all 3 compounds of tyres being used. The only tyre we haven't talked about is the soft tyre, which currently is being used by Puppy Jr., trying to get as far ahead in the pack as possible. Unfortunately, he is a bit further down the field than he wants to be. He's in P16 currently with no points. He's still got 17 runners and riders left. That's probably a good point to go through the field after that first round of pit stops. That's going through them really quickly. So GFO Leclerc currently leading the race in the medium tyres, yet to stop. Mr. Elite, he is on mediums, getting chased by FTH in 3rd place. Again, yet to stop. The first guy who has stopped is Jonathan Cox. He's on the hard. Stringy is in 5th position on the medium tyre. There's a movement for position there. We'll cover that in 1 second. There's a battle between JML and the Extremists for 6th and 7th. Matty Smith is in 8th. As you can see, that 4-5 car battle there for what is 6th, 7th, 8th and position. And there's movement down there. Let's go back to the Renault. He seems to have got the Extremists there. Just capping off what we're saying, the Dragon on Speed will follow this. This battle is in 10th place. The last guy to get a point, Benny Boy, is currently 11th. Nil point for him, unfortunately, today. Puppy trying to make back from a bad qualifying session in 11th. Puppy 12th, pardon me. VSL Optics 13th. Nil point again, unfortunately. Brambit 14th after his shenanigans in the middle part of this race. Timber in 15th. He has stopped for the hard, but unfortunately he had a case of the Alfa Romeo disease, causing him to jump out of the car whenever he saw the Alfa Romeo behind him. So big shame for him. Super C 16th with his own battle at the back of the field, and there with Bobby Jr. as we can see the Renault getting very large of Civics, and Matty Smith is going to be looking all over the back and seeing this yellow Renault all over him, getting bigger and bigger. There's an issue there for P2. Oh, it's not. It's because GFO Leclerc decided to come in. That's the reason why. So he does drop down. He has pitted. He's got Stringy ahead of him. So he fell down to P4, P5. Where is he at? The Extremist has decided to come. He has come in as well, it looked like. So Extremist is 7th. GFO Leclerc is in 8th. He's managed to leapfrog the battle. We were just looking at the battle for the lead between Mr. Elite and FTH is down to 0.6 of a second. We'll be joining that shortly just to see if there is any movement there between the two cars. So 6/7. Mr. Elite currently keeping it on the island. That is FTH. He will get DRS. It doesn't matter because he will take provisional lead of the Hungarian Grand Prix. He's the first guy on the hards. There was a gamble there on the tyres. Can he make it work for him? Jonathan Cox moves up to P2. The gap for the lead is 3.7 seconds. FTH is the only guy, or there's two of them not to pit. Stringy in 3rd and FTH currently leading. They can't make these tyres last to the end of the race. Of course, they do have to come in for new tyres and wheels. Mr. Elite falls down to P8. He hasn't managed to leapfrog GFO Leclerc that we saw at the last round. Surely now it's going to be baller time for do these guys come in for the medium tyre? Can they make the medium tyre last? Is going to be the question on everyone's lips. So GFO Leclerc has pitted for hard tyres. They've got 21 laps to go. Really, so FTH up there in P1. If he can stay out for a few more laps and defend off T-Bone, he may be able to make the mediums work in this race. The gap for the lead is currently 3.5 seconds to Jonathan Cox. He has got very few ERS left, and they're saying even a one-stop strategy from the soft to the hard tyre. So obviously everyone pitting very, very early on has already stopped. There's only 2 drivers out there that have not stopped as we start lap 16. T-Bone coming in to frame. He is 3 seconds back. Now this is all about in this race, can FTH really make these tyres last? So expect him, if he was to pit now, come out in about 6th, 7th, 8th place. He does not want to fall behind that train we've seen of cars for, set for 8th, 9th, 10th position. Because of course they will all get DRS off each other and they won't be as fast, of course, because they're all battling in the middle of the field. So that is where you want to avoid. His ERS is really draining as well, so, and hard braking there. He does not want to be doing that to his tyres because his hard tyres won't make it at all. He's staying out for another lap. As we can see, Super Steve making his 2nd stop of the day. Maybe he's getting paid to go to the pit lane, we don't know. So Super Steve does make his 2nd pit stop of the day. Is that going to be... hopefully not for another rear wing, or front wing, pardon me, I should say. So he does go a lap down. That does mean, though, he will be able to use as much gas as possible, save himself a lap of fuel to get himself back into contention for the points. He's currently P16. He has got a long way to go to be able to get at least one World Championship point today. the gap for the lead is standing around the 3-second mark. So FTH and T-Bone on the same compound tyre. Not much between these two in qualifying session. Today Puppy decides to come in. So they're on a similar strategy at the Team Puppy today, Team McLaren. He will get the bragging rights tonight. Yeah, Puppy will get in front of Puppy Junior because of the big gap. There's a big gap to Super Steve, and then, well, Puppy Junior's a couple of seconds behind Super Steve. So hopefully they're having as much fun in the afternoon as we are. Stringy decides now is the time to add his second penalty, I do believe, of the day. So they're keeping tabs on Stringy, but it's the driver member coming up for 3-second time penalties. Second one he's had, so big shame for him. FTH currently still leading the Hungarian Grand Prix. You've got T-Bone coming at him. We've got a lapped car or the third car on the track, it looks like. Then we've got Stringy in P3. We've got JML Dreamshrek, he's in P4. He's got GFO Leclerc going for P5, it's about to be P4. It was going around the outside of turn 1. That's not what you want to do, is contact between the two cars, just wheel to wheel. That's going to be okay. We're going to see these two cars swap in position shortly. JML Dreamshrek really trying to push him out wide. Fantastic driving by both of them. GFO Leclerc does manage to get position order. Well, if he keeps on the grass, he's not going to. Now it's time for JML Dreamshrek to really push the car, and he's lost it again. Just managing to hold the car together. I was just about to say it's time for him to give GFO Leclerc a taste of his own medicine. He gets himself a 3-second time penalty. Big shame for him. Now he's got Civics all over his back, and it does not want that. There's yellow flags out there in Sector 2. It's Dragon on Speed's lost it. He should be alright there, as long as the chasing car's not going to get him. His tyres aren't going to be in the best mood for Sector 2, especially dirty ones. This is not what you want to see down there. So, for the time being, so nil point for him at the moment, Dragon on Speed. He's capable of so much more. So from 10th to 1st, let's go through really quickly in a bit more detail. Gap for the lead is down to 2.5 seconds. Stringy decides to come in. So we've got Matty Smith in 10th. So hopefully for points for him for his Mercedes tonight. Watching Benny Boy is about to drop down the top 10. He does indeed. He's staying 8th because of his pit stop for Stringy, who has just come out. So Benny Boy is 8th. Extremist is in 7th place. Another yellow flag on track. Let's have a quick look through. It's Puppy Junior. His front wing, is it still attached to the car? He's damaged the front right hand section of the wing. That's the reason why he's going to be slower through here. This is not what you want to be seeing. He has ghosted, so at least he can get out of the way of the other cars and not cause an issue. So Matty Smith is 10th. Extreme, he's 9th. Benny Boy in 8th. Extreme is 7th. Mr. Elite 6th. Civics 5th. JML Dreamshrek is 4th. GMO Leclerc is in 3rd place. It's Jonathan Cox who is in P2, and FTH is currently still leading the Hungarian Grand Prix. He's been on these tyres for 19 laps as we are on lap 20. We still have 17 of the 20 drivers 17 of the 19 drivers that started the Hungarian Grand Prix as the gap for the lead. So the big thing here, T-Bone, he will surely get DRS in the next couple of laps. That is only going to be to scare any driver. He's going to be after this win, of course, losing out. FTH very capable of winning races all over the RRC league this season. GFO Leclerc, he's still in the hunt. It's P3. If he finished here on Tuesday night, there'd still be a championship around in TNR on Tuesday night racing. I think he seems to have worked out his problems there in Sector 2. That's the reason why we're seeing him go so strongly. This is, so riding with Leclerc. Just playing around a little bit with the settings on the game, just that is exactly what everyone does. Gap for the lead down to 1.6 seconds. As he's back on the track, they're all about to get DRS, and you can see Mr. Civics there trying the outside on Dreamship. That's not, he's on the faster tyre and does have DRS. He's not close enough there in the Haas sandwich, so to speak, and the Extremist decides to come in for mediums. That should see him through to the end of the race. As we're looking the battle for 5th, 6th and 7th place, well, for the time being. As you can see, we'll just ride there with Mr. Elite. He's currently in P6. VSL Optics has pitted. He's fallen down to 13th place, pushes Matty Smith up to 8th, Brambit up to 9th, Extremist to 10th, and Benny Boys is the first competitor in pen P11, not to get any points today. We're watching a Haas sandwich with a side of Renault by the looks of things. It's JML Deanstrek in P4, it's Civics meeting the sandwich in the Renault in P5, and Mr. Elite, the sister Haas in P6. Now, Mr. Civics should get a second bite of the cherry. Now, is it about to be Haas Texas Toast with two sides on top of each other, the two Haas's together? As you can see, Civics there is trying to keep one eye on the car ahead of him and one eye on the car behind. That's the reason why he's driving like that. Of course, he wants to get past JML Dimstrip, but of course he's got the fellow Haas. Where the Haas's can work together with this. They want to make it into Texas Toast, of course. They want to have two of their cars together. Not the Haas sandwich with a slice of Renault they've got currently. Gap for the lead is down to 1.3 seconds on lap 22. So realistically, expect to see FDH come in very, very shortly. Maybe even if T-Bone does get towards DRS range of him. Just over a second, so T-Bone won't get the DRS result on this lap. He does not indeed, I was correct on myself. GFO Leclerc is trying to join the battle as well for P3. That is a lapped car that Leclerc is going through, so don't worry. That's Super Steve, he's made him to get past. We've got yellows in Sector 2, it's a McLaren, it's Puppy Jr. who is out of the race and does that cause a safety car. It is a virtual safety car. Now, FDH, this will be time to pit. Of course, if he pits, but is the virtual safety car, as he's on Sector 1, going to be available until the end of Sector 3, because it will massively help him. As you can see, the stricken McLaren there will drive past. Anyone who hasn't pitted, like FTH is the only guy. Matty Smith decides it's time to pit, doing 22 laps on the tyres. So they all see him through to the race, but he's gone for the hards. Now, I don't remember him starting on the mediums. Maybe that is going to be, if he did start on the hards, or he started on the mediums, pardon me, then maybe he had to go for the hards, because the softs definitely would not have gone till the end of the race. Surely, he does not decide to pit. The virtual safety car is in. We are back to green flag racing. T-Bone will get the DRS range this time. A much better start as well as we go green flag racing now on lap 24. Optics gets himself a 3-second time penalty. He's not scared of odd numbers, clearly, in getting a 3-second time penalty. He's not going to want it though, unfortunately. As we go under the bridge for turn number 3. T-Bone has got him in his sights. Maybe he's phoning FDH to ask him how he wants his steak. If he wants it medium rare, if he wants it T-boned. Because unfortunately this is the problem with this Jonathan Cox, is when he calls you to ask how you want your steak done, normally he T-bones you the following lap. Hence the name T-Bone. So hopefully FTH is a bit of a desertarian, doesn't want steak on his plate today. He's doing a fantastic job currently, doing 23 laps on the hard tyre. They are capable of a few more laps. that you just smell that Jonathan Cox is going to be going for this at the end of this lap. We're still looking at the hash sandwich, and we're about to see Texas Toast. We didn't very shortly there. We'll go back momentarily for the battle for the lead to see how everyone wants their stake done. He's a bit too far away here. Looks like T-Bone can make a move. We'll go back to the battle really quickly for 4th, 5th and 6th place as T-Bone is whetting his appetite. He's going to get his serviette on around his neck. He's got his steak knife out. And we have seen Texas Toast on the last corner. We've got the two Hasses together because Civic's making a pit stop. So we've got Texas Toast there for 4th and 5th position for the two Hass drivers. Chumba has gone ghosted. Maybe he's lost connection, and it looks like as well we've lost connection to GFO Leclerc, which is not good for him in this race. This is the reason why he's a ghosted car. So hopefully he can get back into the race as quickly as possible. Civic's deciding he can go for the soft tyre. Now he is going to be flat out towards the end of the race. 11 to go in Hungary. He's going to be one to watch for the last 10 laps of this race once he gets his soft tyres up to speed. Now, FTH is locking those front tyres. Doesn't want to do that. Now he decides to pit. And unfortunately, it's dinner time for T-Bone. As you can see, FTH there struggling to get his hard tyres down to the 50-mile-an-hour limit. GFO Leclerc will get him on the track, but for the moment he's disconnected. So we should see him a lot slower than what he is. FTH deciding to go for the soft tyre. Very well for him, going through what's that 26 laps. GFO temporarily takes P2 in this race. I think he has come back to... No, he hasn't. So unfortunately at the moment he hasn't. And the Haas deciding that he wants a bit of an AlphaTauri Haas Texas Toast sandwich in the form of JML Doomshrek. A bit of contact between the two and a bit of argy-bargy never goes amiss. Anywhere on the track. There are two cars to watch out for, going to be Civics and FTH coming back through the field, so the gap is 2.62. A ghosted car of GFO Leclerc is going to be an AlphaTauri bull meat, shall we say, on the menu, because a ghosted car is going to be so much easier to get past than one with a pilot in it. So the battle for the lead, as GFO Leclerc has been passed already, so it was going to happen. FTH now just needs to get on the gas. Doesn't want to be locking up his tyres. For the AlphaTauri Bull, he's not going to like the fact there's a T-Bone ahead of him in that Raging Bull. Of course, he wants to win here at Hungary. And of course, so GFO Leclerc now is about to be passed by the two Haas cars. And they do switch positions momentarily, so Mr. Elite does make the move. We're looking at a sandwich right now as the second Haas car moves up into 4th place. We've got Haas's 3rd and 4th in this race because of the ghosting. Unfortunately, it's cost GFO Leclerc some time. Big shame for him, doing fantastically well, starting out of position at the back of the field. So GFO Leclerc now decides it's time to come back to the race. He's going to be quite annoyed at himself. He was P2. He's lost 3 positions, maybe having to start his PlayStation as well. Has definitely cost him time. He's saying he's joined, but he hasn't got full control of his car yet. That's the reason we're seeing his Hackers run away from him. The next car behind him is Civic's 12 seconds back. But, of course, expect to see GFO Leclerc join us back very shortly. The two Hasses now deciding what they want over up to seconds now. Oh, pardon me, up to 3rd and 4th. FTH getting past that Red Bull. It's a Super Steve, of course, in 16th position, putting a lap down because of the pit stop. That's the reason why he fell behind. Shame to see Super Steve back there in 16th place with no points. currently, as we still are looking now at T-Bone, the hard tyres. So he went from soft to hards. They're doing pretty well in this race. 18 laps so far on the hard tyres. He should be okay until the end of the race. Chasing him down is FTH. The gap is roughly about 12 seconds. Or 15 seconds I should say, pardon me. We're not seeing that on the screens at the moment. That's what was the last time I checked. Mr. Elite in the house, fantastic driving for him, is in third place. But his teammate right behind him in fourth, GFO Leclerc. Big shame for him, he's currently fifth. In Civics in sixth, so the second guy on those soft tyres. It's Stringy in seventh, Mr. The Extremist in eighth, Benny Boy ninth, Matty Smith has lost the position, he's down to 12th, he's battling for 11th and 12th position, and that's the reason why we've got a slow runner off the track, Dragon on speed losing a position, Matty Smith, it's Brandy having a fight as well. That's the reason for that battle. Just to finish off in the top 10, Optics in 10th place. Common driver of the day has got to go out for FTH for his battle. He's holding on. Gap down to 13.9 seconds. Big shame for him, leading the race brilliantly for so many laps. But unfortunately, I've got to pit, of course. I'm afraid it's a big shame to see that happen. Mr. Elite doing very well there in P3. He's got his teammate behind him. The two Hasses really pushing each other. They're within DRS range as well. They are going to have a fast GFO Leclerc behind them though. These two Haas cars are going to have to work together to deny GFO Leclerc of a podium place. You can smell he wants it. He didn't get it in the last event he put on around here. So he's definitely going to be after a podium today. So currently in fifth. He has got the two Haas cars ahead of him. So he is going to be pushing as much as he possibly can tonight. So lap 30. We've got 6 to go in the Hungarian Grand Prix. Gap is down to 12 seconds now. So FTH is really trying to reel in T-Bone for points in this race. And that's how looking down the field. So Matty Smith down there in 12th. Hopefully we'll see him get some points today. He definitely deserves it from his gallant effort today. He's off the road today, but definitely deserves some points. GFO Leclerc has passed one of the Hasses. We just missed it. Apologies. Look at some tables on the phone just to bring you some more information. But yeah, GFO Leclerc is up to P4, so back from his issues with the internet connection. He's taken apart one Haas for fourth. And now for the third time today, we've got a different type of sandwich with Texas toast. We've got as you can just see, GFO Leclerc, that's where we lost it last week on Tuesday. He's going to make the same mistake he did. A very similar position in P4. Doesn't want to lose it there. This is the bad part of the track to lose it because you go straight into the barrier and that will likely be the end of your evening's race. Now there should be DRS of course for this Haas. It'll help him defend against GFO Leclerc. The DRS will be completely open. Leclerc's not going to be able to have a look here because there will be a free pass on the Red Bull. And Leclerc he does get the DRS as well. I didn't think he did by the looks of things. As you can see, Super Steve is trying to race as quickly as possible. It's a ghosted car, so they need to back off completely. And wow, you really can't get closer than that from GFO Leclerc. These two really battling it out. It is the closest battle on the track. It's 0.1. It's just over 1/10 of a second. You really can't get closer than that in Hungary. And who says you can't pass in Hungary? I really don't know. Leclerc using all of the track and more. There's also a battle a bit further down there between the Extremist and Benny Boy. It's at 0.4 of a second. That's for P9. We'll of course go back really quickly for the battle for P3. GFO Leclerc this time. Don't think he likes Texas toast very much. He's taken apart half his Texas breakfast today. I think he wants the other half. as well in the way of Mr. Elite. So he's already got Doomshot. There's yellow flags in Sector 1. We're about to find out why what's going on. It's a yellow flags in Sector 1 to complete this lap. GFO Leclerc, no yellow flags. The pass for Leclerc looks like will stand. Leclerc will stay. Now there's yellow flags, they can't move because there's a Renault on track. He's dragging on speed. He's been disqualified for being in parked in a dangerous location. So big shame for him. It didn't harness it did harness though the defence of Mr. Elite. He's going to be annoyed about that. He wasn't allowed to have another fight back at GFO Leclerc for P3, and he's going to fuck the road at the top of the hill. Shock of the race. GFO Leclerc has just spent the last 4 laps pushing the Hasses down and taking apart his American breakfast. Well, I'm a shut. It looks like this driver needs an IHOP because I'm afraid his breakfast has come back up to haunt him. Back down to P5 goes GFO Leclerc. Racing very well in P3. Just put too much on the grass. It's cost him 2 positions. The 2 Haas cars are going to be laughing all the way back to IHOP because they're up to P3 and P4 respectively. The gap for the lead is down to 10.7 seconds. T-Bone on old hard tyres. We've got FTH on brand or fairly new soft tyres. He is candidate for the fastest lap of the race. Let's have a look really quickly to see if he is still on for that. He is indeed. So fastest lap of the race it looks like there. So an extra point, that will help his title bid. Mr. Elite in third, a very well-deserved podium by Mr. Elite 44. We'll watch the Hasses for a little bit and then we'll move on to Jonathan Cox for the white flag lap. As we can see, Stringy and VSL Optics having their own private battle there for who's got the faster Ferrari engine in the back of the car. Optics seems to have won out this battle for the time being. 10th and 11th is the last 2 cars on track that have not been lapped currently. So lap 34, we've got 2 to go. We've still got 15 drivers in the 19 that started. And the last points finisher, it was the gap we were looking at here for Stringy and Optics for P10. Well, Optics wants to stay on the black stuff. He doesn't want to be doing that for too long. It may well cost him points today. Now, Super Steve having his own battle there to keep the car on the field. Jonathan Cox is in sector 2 of his penultimate lap, lap 34. The gap down to 10.5 seconds. Doomshat does get himself a 3-second stop and go penalty, which is not going to help his day at all, you have to say. There is yellow flags, it's saying in sector 2. Jonathan Cox is about to start his white flag lap. He does indeed start his white flag lap. Well, let's talk about him for 1 second. So he's done extremely well. He's the guy to beat in both leagues. In most leagues, we have to say. He secured the TNR championship last week. He didn't win this race in FNR. He was on the podium though because of a lap 1 issue. He pretty much has controlled the Hungarian Grand Prix, being on the right tyre at the right time. He's made that switch from the front row, from the hard tyre to the soft, from the soft tyre to the hard tyre at the best time. It's been a comparative drive for him. He chased down FTH. He didn't pass him on the road, he didn't need to. FTH, a stunning drive as well to hold off T-Bone for so long on older tyres. But the victory didn't elude him. It eluded him last week. It's not going to elude him this week. It's a third try of tying. It's T-Bone for dinner. T-Bone wins the Hungarian Grand Prix. Fantastic win, third time lucky for the T-Bone. It's going to be T-Bone all round there. FTH does come through to make it an all-beef first and second. He's finished his second, FTH, 10 seconds back. We've got Mr. Elite, fantastic, a really strong opponent for driver of the day for P3. It's Mr. Elite 44. It's GFO Leclerc finishes fourth on the road because of penalties. He's down to P5. It's JML Doomshit that finishes fourth. Fantastic for him. Very well deserved in the second half. It's Civics that finishes P6. Benny Boy we're waiting on to finish in P7. He's round the last sector now. It's making it in there, the Williams. On the medium side, there's 13 laps on them. Very well done to Benny Boy. Very well deserved points for Benny Boy today. That's P7. It's P8 for Mr. Extremist. Brambit is about to join us for P9. Across the line, he is a 5-second penalty unserved. Unfortunately, keeps ahead of VSO Optics. He will be the last point finisher in the Ferrari. And well, it's time to breathe again. Now, fantastic race, absolutely enjoyed it. We had a bit of everything in that race. It's saying GFO Leclerc driver of the day. For me, the internet issues really will definitely cost him a place on the podium. It's T-Bone's day for the victory. Third time of asking around the Hungaroring from the numerous events he's in. So without a win, he finished on the podium here on Friday. Fourth on last Tuesday. This time it's a top step for the Italian. Anyone for steak tonight? Apologies to any vegetarians out there. So again, we're looking at clarification there one more time. We've got Jonathan Cox winning the Hungarian Grand Prix from FTH second. 10.9 seconds was the gap in the end. Wasn't enough in the day. Mr. Elite finishes third. He's driver of the day for me. Fantastic performance all the way. Very well deserved for Haas. JML Doomshek P4. He definitely has to take a second driver of the day for me. GFO Leclerc, very unlucky starting from 18th to fight back through the field. Big shame for him. And really, internet issues, we should have seen more. It's Civic Simp at 6th. Benny Boy 7th. Mr. Extremist in 8th place. Brambit 9th on the road, and VSO Optics 10th, with Jad Stringy, Matty Smith, Trumbar, Poppy, and Super Steve finishing the race. Of course, the didn't finishers, we've got Poppy Jr., Felvin we saw finish early, Toon Fan finish on the first lap, and Dragon on speed, the last of the 19 drivers that started the race. So really, that was a race to remember in Monday night for Hungary. I've massively enjoyed it. Well done again to the top three. Well done again to my driver of the day, Mr. Elite 44. Fantastic battle with his teammate. They kept it clean. That's what we want to see in RRC racing. We want to see absolutely everyone keeping it clean. I've been Scrappy Doo. We're on for a great race around for, if you guys are around, obviously make sure to tune in for Tuesday night racing. We've got Wednesday night racing. We have a break on Thursday. We've got the Friday. We've got the Formula One. It's going to be a fantastic week. So it doesn't matter if you're staying in because of this COVID nonsense, if you're out and partying in Wales or Germany, wherever you are. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much to RRC Racing League for making this possible. We could have done it without you. Thanks very much for watching. And for Scrappy Doo, thank you very much and good night.